Welcome back, guys. So we're continuing CSS selector session. So in our last session we stopped at the ID selector. So today we're going to continue with the combination selector. So I just have a new file here so we can clearly see how we can use the combination selector. This is just a plain HTML with some div, article, paragraph, just to practice the combination selector. We are going to use the same style file so we can have all our styles in one place: CSS selector, universal selector, the type selector, class selector, ID selector. So now we are on to the combination selector. Alright, so a brief about the combination selector is that there are 4 different combination selector in CSS. So we have the descendant selector, which is just separated by space. So we'll see that. Okay, let's just begin. Let's see the first one, descendant selector, which says space. How do we use the descendant selector? Now, from this place, when you have a div, HTML treats element like a family. They like they have live in a family tree. So they have their parents and their descendants, a child, and just like that. So even this div can be seen as a parent div because they begin the section. Okay. Then any div that follows after is seen as a child div. Then every other div, like this P, this article, or this paragraph, if you're picking only paragraph, they are all siblings, they are all descendants. They are all siblings and all descendants of each other. So now this div is a parent div. The next one is a child div. This article standing alone is also a child. This article is also a child of this particular div. Now this article now has other div inside of it. So this particle is a child of this div and it's a parent of its own, more like an extended family, nuclear family. It has its own children. This H1 is a child of this article. This paragraph is a child of this article, while they are all descendants of this paragraph. They are descendants and they are siblings to this paragraph. Okay, so let's see how that works. Let's start with the descendant selector. So the descendant selector basically will just pick a div followed by the element that's next to it. So we can say div P or div article. So because P is a descendant of this div, article is a descendant of this div. So let's see that now. So we'll say div space. That's why here it says space, because the syntax is just taking the parent element and putting a space and putting that descendant in front of it. So we are selecting the P descendant. So say div and P, and that's it. So we can now say, so what we're doing now, all the paragraph that are a descendant of this div will take this particular styling. Okay, let's see what our HTML look like before we begin. Okay. All right, so this is it. So we are working on this guy. All right, so let's put a space between them. We see this is a head, this is a head, this is a paragraph. Then we have lots of paragraph. Let's just give a div Okay, we have, let's just, sorry, our type selector. Let's select div because I don't put it there because it's a type selector. We just select div and say all our div should have a padding top of 30 px. We want to see that good space. Okay, yeah, the separation between them. So that's a type selector. So I took it to where we have the type selector. Now let's come back. So this is a combination selector. So we're combining these descendants. Descendant. Okay, the first one there is one descendant selector. So we want that to have a color of blue. So every P descendant should have a color of blue. So we'll see now. Let's look at this from our HTML. We can see that this div. Okay, let's look at that again. Now, because we selected a div, this is a div and this is a div, right? These last two paragraphs, they are not in a div. You can see that they are not affected because why they are not in a div. So let's come here. Let's go back to our type selector. Sorry, P. We just want that space to be there so we can design everything we are doing clearly. Oh, sorry, I'm using the wrong padding to 15 px. This will put too much space on it. Okay, so I've separated this. All right. So all these paragraphs you see that are blue, they are all inside a div. So they are all descendants of a particular div. So coming back here, we selected div, and you know div is a type selector, so it selects all the divs. Then it say all your descendants, anywhere you find a paragraph inside a div, they are descendants of that div. Make them blue, and that's what we have done. So this paragraph is not inside a div, that's why it did not take the blue color styling. Right, so next we are going to see from our HTML, okay, the child selector. We have seen the descendant selector. Now the child, remember the child selector, okay, the child selector is just selecting only the P or the element that is direct to the paragraph. That's a direct child of the paragraph. In this case, if we were to select this paragraph, if we say the child selector P, okay, let's put something here. This is a so this will select child selector. If I use the child selector syntax, which is this greater than sign, it will only select this P because this P is a direct child of this div. It will not select this P because this P is not a direct child. This P is not a direct child. It will also select this P because this P is a direct child of this div. Now let's use H1 because we have already used P. Now we have a H1 here. Let's copy this H1. Let's put it outside here. Let's put a H1 here and outside here. Okay, let's see the result of this. Now this is that paragraph. This is a param. This is a heading. This is a heading right inside this guy. This is a heading. So we're going to see which of these heading is a direct child of the div. Now let's find that out. This is a heading child. This is a heading not child. Okay, this is a heading child of article, and this is a heading child of div. Not heading not child. All right, so I use this text so we can really specify this. So let's say back to our style. We're now talking about the child. So we're going to say div. Remember the sentence is just a space, but this one uses the greater than sign. Okay. And let's say color should be green. All right, let's see that. But the green is too dark. You can't see it clearly. Let's use okay, green yellow. Let's make it bold. Font weight 600 px. Let's increase the size 32 px. Okay. All right. So this is now you see this is the paragraph, and this is the paragraph. This is the paragraph. All these paragraphs are okay. We said we're going to use the, but you can see this is the paragraph. This is param. This is a div child. Let's look at it. This is param. This is the div child. This is a paragraph. This is the paragraph. So these are these ones directly child of the direct child. You see, it didn't pick this one because it's not the direct child. It didn't pick this one because it's not a direct child. We said we want to use the H1 so we can see because we added some text to it. Let's duplicate this. Let's see H1. Let's change the color to dark cyan. All right, so you see this is a heading child div, not child, not child. Now see, so I believe this is not confusing. So you use the forward arrow, you see specifying it, the greater than sign followed by the child element to specify a child combination selection. So it will take the element that is directly a direct child of that div or a direct child of that article. Let's see article H1. Child H1 color violet. See, this is a heading not child. Okay, this is a heading child of article. Heading not child, but it's an article. You see this one that says heading not child because it's not a div, so it's a heading article. It's a heading article child. Okay, so after the article, this H1 is a direct child of article. That's why I selected it. This one also the direct child of article. That's why I selected. But if you put a H1 outside this article, or inside this article you have a div and you put this H1 here, this heading is not child of article. So it's not a direct child of that article. Okay, so let's see. Let's refresh. This heading is not, yeah, it's taking this child of article. Now you see our child of article color is purple. But this one is because it's inside the D. Let's change it from D. Let's use something like a span, or let's use span. So it will not pick it at all. Alright. Not child of article. Okay. So this is heading not child of article. Say it's dark. I hope this is not confusing. Okay, let's just look at it. Article has H1. This H1 is a direct child of this article. But inside article has another child called span, and it inside that span has H1. But this H1 is not outside of the article. It's not a direct child of article. So that's why if you're using this greater than sign, which is the child combination selector, is not going to select that one inside the span because it's not a direct child of the article. All right, I hope you get it. Next, we're going to see the adjacent sibling selector. What does that mean? Adjacent sibling selector. It simply means the sibling selector that is directly after a selector, a child selector. Okay, let's see. For example, if we have an image here. Okay, let's say let's add an image. All right, so let's see what this looks like. Okay, now we have two paragraphs directly after this image. This is a paragraph, this is a paragraph. Let's say this is a caption and this is a paragraph. Okay, let's say width 200 px. All right, so we should reduce the stack. So this adjacent will directly pick the element that is directly after the image tag. So let's see what that looks like. Adjacent sibling selector. We're now going to say img. So the syntax for that is a plus sign plus p. Now remember we have two p's there, right? So let's now see how this works. Let's see color should be brown, and let's say font style should be italic, font weight should be bolder. All right, let's view this. Now you can see even though we have two paragraphs, okay, let's bring this out. Let's kill combination HTML. Oh, let's just continue. I wanted to add padding space in there. Okay, let's say padding 30 px. So you see, it's just affecting only this paragraph. Even though we have two paragraphs directly after the image, but it's taking only the paragraph that is very close to the image than the other one. So we can use this um this selector, this adjacent selector, to select the element that is directly next to a particular element, like we have said, image plus p. Although we have two paragraphs directly after image 1 and 2, you see how the adjacent works. It picks only the one that is directly next to it. So that's for the adjacent combination selector. So you can use it to add captions to your image, and you can also use it in other areas when necessary. Now, lastly, we are going to look at um, combination HTML. Let's go back. The general sibling selector, which uses the tilde sign, tilde symbol. Okay, so now how does general work? The general, it works just like the adjacent selector, but the element selected does not need to come right after the first element. You know, this one picks exactly the next element to it, but the general does not do that. What it does, it goes all around the page, the particular section, even the page, to select any element that are sibling to that particular element. Okay, so this is how it works. Let's see. Let's now do this again. The image. So instead of using, want to see how, if it's going to pick the second paragraph alongside. Let's see. Let's see. The color now should change to dark blue. All right, let's see. Voila. So you can see that now the general is picking from that section, like immediately after the main element, which is image where we are selected. Any other similar element, if you like, come and have. Okay, let's try this. Let's see if it works on this. Let's put this here. Okay, listen. Refresh. Okay, it didn't work because now we have left this place, we have entered another section. Okay, but if we are to add another div here, other paragraphs, sorry, you see all the other paragraphs will take this tab, because having this div has broken the chain already. That's now created a new section. So as long as that paragraph is directly after the main element, it will pick it will pick all the elements around it. Remember, when we use the plus, it pick only the first one that's directly next to it. That's the adjacent. But when we use the general, it picks every other p that is around it. Okay, and that is why we have this like this. Okay, so having another div create a new section, it will not pick that one. So I hope with this we are fully understand how the combination selector works. So we can now know how we can use the combination selector, having the descendant, having the child combination, which is actually the direct sibling to the parent element, and also we'll have the adjacent selector, which is the one that is the direct element next to the main element you've selected, and the general sibling, which picks every element that are the same with the one you select immediately after the main element. So this is all for combination selection. All right, we will see in our next section when we talk about the attribute selector. Okay, sorry, one more thing. Before we go to the attribute selector, let's just see how the group selector works. This is very short, so let's see group, the grouping selector. How does the grouping selector work? Let's say we have a H1, we have a paragraph, we have which other style we have? Okay, let's see the LI, okay, and then we want them all to have the same. Let's use font family. Let's use something that will be very visible. Let's use cursive. Okay, let's do something else. Let's try this one. Is the difference clear? Nope. Okay, let's use font family. Let's use font size, because we know that our paragraph and our H1 does not have the same size, so it will be easy to see. Let's use font size. Let's use, all of them should have a font size of 60px. We want them to be very big. So we'll take this, we'll paste it here, we'll paste it here, and then see, all our paragraphs and all our H1 and our list, this is our list, they are all having the font size of 60. Let's now add a color to say, let's remove all those color. Let's give them a color of a neutral color. Let's see, which color don't we have here? This one is black, purple, blue. Let's say gray. All right, gray. So this is our heading. Okay, we've set it only for H1 yet. Now let's say we want all of them to have this gray and this size. So how do we now write the group selector? So this is how we group. We'll say H1, separating them with the comma, the P and the LI. So we'll give them all this. Let's reduce this to 40. Ctrl S. Now you can see the size has reduced. This is our LI is now gray. This is our H1 is now gray. Okay, let's see. In our paragraph, I think our paragraph is not taking the style. So our paragraph is not taking the style because all these selectors, they are very strong. They have a strong precedence. So if you are just using a normal P, it will take it. But now we've used this, the all these signs, all these selectors on them. So it will stay on that style. It will not change unless we go and remove this one. So that's how those P. But if we come back here and add another paragraph, let's say we have a last paragraph outside here that does not follow, okay, this one, oh, is outside, so it's picking the style we have here. So that's why CSS is a cascading style sheet. So it follows the precedence. But we can now see how we can group elements together. So we group them by using the comma and just put the particular style you want to give only for element that you know must have the same kind of style. I believe you know why by now. All right, thank you for watching this section. Please do well to like this video, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Also share this link, the video, to your friends so they can learn about the combinator selector. In our next video, we will talk about the attribute selector. Thank you.